Hi guys, welcome to my Wednesday lives. I am not at my house again for anybody who recognizes. So thank you Justin and Tyler for letting me use your living room wall. I have locked the dogs in the bedroom. It's almost November, which means, hi Scotty, which means one, we're giving away $1,000 on the first of the month, which is Sunday. Hi Justin. And two, it means it's almost Halloween. This is like the first one I remember that there's no snow. So that's good for those that do not want snow. Happy Wednesday live. Hi Tyler. Your dogs are fighting. I can hear them in the bedroom. So almost, it's crazy, almost 2021. Obviously people think normally of like New Year's resolutions. So I was just curious if anybody, had any basically 2020 resolutions that they want to do in the next 2 months. 2 months is obviously still plenty of time, and you can do it. I believe in you, but I'm curious what people want to do before the end of the year. Hi, Amy. Miss your face too. Hi, Melanie. How's everybody? I'm on a different stand and a different phone in a different living room, and I just touched something I shouldn't have. Fighting to hear some stats. Yes, that is what they're doing. But I did figure out how to get it horizontal. Okay, so we're going to start with a question, okay? Hi, Phil. So first we're going to do a question from Brad from Lefroy. So Brad said, oh yeah, by the way, you guys can write questions like in the comments or between now and next Wednesday. You can message them in and I will answer them next week. And if I get too many, then I will just message you separately or call you separately and so forth, okay? Next week I will be at my new place. That is why I'm borrowing this living room for the week, because I am essentially homeless for the week in between my places. So thank you again for Justin and Tyler letting me use theirs and their house for my roomies for the week. So back to Brad's question in Lefroy. I have a house I own and my girlfriend does also. We are contemplating selling and buying one together, or selling one and moving in together, or renting both and moving in together. What do you suggest as an investor's standpoint? Thank you, Brad, for asking. So obviously the market is hot right now. I don't know if you guys both live in Lefroy, which is a part of Innisfil, for those of you that don't know. If you do, like obviously it's a hot market. For example, I'm just saying that because let's just say she lives in Sunridge, for example. I don't know Sunridge, so I can't comment if that is a hot market. But currently our markets are hot, so you could always sell them both and buy together. And then some people say, well, it's high right now and then we're buying, but you're doing two sales and a buy, and there's still deals, to be honest, because there's over 58,000 realtors in Ontario. Not all of them are on every board, so there's still ways to backdoor and get deals on properties. So don't think that you're going to overpay on the other end. Although I'm a bit of a hoarder of properties and I like to keep properties, it is good to capitalize too when the market is so hot for selling. So you could sell, like I said, and then let's just say, people maybe can't renew their mortgages, or the second wave is not just in phase 2 in Toronto and Peel and Ottawa, and they move it furthermore, and then people maybe aren't working as much, and then maybe more houses come on the market, because currently we don't have enough homes for the amount of demand. So maybe it'll be more level, and say, for example, next year you could then re-buy investment properties, so you could do that. So that would be my suggestion to you, but I would sell them now just because the market's so hot, because I didn't sell any of mine in 2017, and I don't regret anything, but I should have. But thank you for asking. Hi, Wyatt. Amy said, why do you need a lawyer to sell your house if you're not repurchasing? I am repurchasing. I did repurchase. I don't remember saying about a lawyer, but I did repurchase, so I need a lawyer. Hi, Ishka. You love the wall behind, Scotty? A very talented contractor did it. If you would like his number, I can get it for you. Thanks, Connie. I know it's a very nice house this week. Oh, sorry, Amy's question. I'm going to go back up, Amy, because I thought you were asking, why do you need a lawyer to sell your house if you're not repurchasing? You still need one to sell your house because they still have to change title to the new person. So my darn nails don't work very well with this. So yeah, when you're selling your house, you still need a lawyer even if you're not repurchasing, just because they have to change title. So it can't just go from Kristin to this other person. I can't just sign papers. Obviously, I'm not legally bound to do the registry system and the registry office and land title and all that kind of stuff. So you do have to have a lawyer do that. When you're selling, it's cheaper than when you're buying, because when you're buying, the lawyer is doing more searches, making sure there's no liens against the property and so forth. The buyer doesn't want to buy the other person's debt. So if nobody does the searches on the buyer's end, and then suddenly you see they haven't paid their taxes for 3 years, or there's a second lien against the property that you didn't know, then you as a new buyer basically have bought into their debt. So that is why you need a lawyer on the buy side, but then the sell side basically just responds to what the buyer's lawyer says, but you still do need a lawyer for it, okay? I'm going to do this and I'll read more stuff. Okay, so I did Brad's question, $1,000 giveaway. So it's the first of the month on Sunday. So if you guys don't know, every month we give away $1,000. We have all women nominating people this month again, which seems to be the trend. However, guys are allowed to nominate people too, and you don't have to do something crazy like you've made 10,000 masks or you've helped all these people or whatever. Literally everybody that's won so far has been nominated by like their coworker or their spouse or what have you, and you can just say, my spouse is really awesome, or my neighbor's really awesome. They're a great dad, they're a great neighbor, they go above and beyond at work, or whatever you want to say, okay? It doesn't have to be something crazy. If they've done something crazy, cool. However, it does not have to be that, and so far we haven't had any crazy thing like that, okay? So email your video submission to info@crippshomes.com, and then on Sunday I will knock on somebody's door and give them $1,000. Okay, so basically, you know, there's like lots of quotes on revenge, like success is the best, you know, revenge. So there's a little boy who's 7 who basically took that to heart and really is doing well at that. So he was bullied for years, and he said that he was like in a dark place, and he told his mom, you know, I don't want to be in a dark place anymore. Can you start a GoFundMe? And she was kind of like, why do you want to GoFundMe? And a GoFundMe account. And he said, because I don't want anybody to feel this darkness, and I want to spread love and happiness. And so what he did was they started this GoFundMe, and he started by giving like care packages to elderly that was around him. And then a local factory found out about him during COVID, and because they were not in production during COVID, they gave him space to use for free, and he ended up opening like kind of like a food drive or food bank or what have you. And now he's given 106 transport trucks full of food to different people in need, which is crazy. He's only 7. And he did a nonprofit he started since COVID, and it's called Cool and Dope. And it stands for, so cool is consider others obstacles in life, and then the dope is dish out positive energy. So he's only 7, and he's super adorable, so I thought that was cute. And he wants to have no bullying by the time he's 18, and again, he's 7, so it's cute. I like cute stories. For anybody that's not been on before, I always tell like happy news, I answer questions, and then I do real estate updates, okay? So I'll do another question, then I'll read who's on here. Okay, so the next one comes from Candace in Innisfil. So Candace wrote in, you can either like private message me or on my Facebook wall or on this wall after we're done or during. And Candace in Innisfil said, I know you go to a lot of events, and obviously live ones aren't going on this year. Have you found any online ones this year that you would recommend? Thank you, Candace, for asking. I have only done one that I was participating in, which was, oh, that's not true, I've done 2. One was Rise, which is like Rachel Hollis, and then the other one was a real estate one. To be honest, like my personality and my attention span doesn't do the greatest at non-live events, because basically my cell phone's not in here because it's on there. But if I have a cell phone, I get sidetracked easily, and suddenly it's like 2 hours later, like I go to do one message when it dings, and it's 2 hours later, I look up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be watching something. So it doesn't work the greatest for me. I know Tony Robbins did his Unleash the Power Within last weekend, and he's doing a bunch. But it just depends on your personality type if it works for you or not. But if you private message me, I can send you a bunch that I know about. But again, I've only done the 2 since COVID. So thank you for asking. But my personality type doesn't go with it. Okay. So, oh yeah, I'm going to see who's here first. Hi, Dakota. Hi, Steve. Hi, Connie. Also, if there's a mortgage on the property being sold, then that mortgage needs to be paid out. That requires a lawyer. That is correct. Melanie is a mortgage broker, and another reason why you need a lawyer and you can't just have a friend, you know, do it for you, or so forth. These darn nails. You're welcome, Amy. Okay, I see. Where does your dad live, Amy? I lured you in with my title, Carol. Okay, good. That's what's next. Hi, Phil. Carol was lured in by my title, which was whale poop, which is actually what I'm going to talk about next, Carol. I saw Carol the other day at Donnelly's. So whale poop, Carol. So I recently walked Kennedy's dogs, who is on my team. But I was like, eh. Sorry, my phone didn't like goose poop. It disconnected. So this marine biologist got a dog from a shelter named Eba. And she used to take, obviously being a marine biologist, she's always out on the boat. And she noticed that her dog would like get, you know, when they get that thing on their back, like a mohawk kind of. And she'd get a mohawk. And then she'd start to sniff. And basically she'd slow the boat down and realized it was somewhere where there was whale poop. And specifically orca whales. And from orca whales, you can find out like if they're pregnant, their digestive, their health, their stress levels, their genetics and so forth, and obviously being her business. So they ended up training the dog even more so. And now she's helping every single day with her as well as other marine biologists to help the orca whales. So I thought that was cute. And there you go, Carol. That is my poop for the day. And she's doing that in just outside of Victoria, BC. And I have one more question before real estate. So Jeremy and Tanya from Barrie asked, we run a small business from our home and are putting our home up for sale in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Is it odd if we're home for showings? We have a lot of valuable things and we would hate for something to go missing. Thank you, Jeremy and Tanya, or Tanya, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, for asking. It's not, you know, uncommon, but more so people are not home. But in whoever you list with, they could have in the showing instructions, you know, lockbox 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it is. Sellers will be home. They have a home business. Please don't disrupt or whatever. And to be honest, some people think like, oh, I have all these valuables and whatever. The agents are there to obviously sell the house, not take valuables. And whether it's, you know, you're thinking of the agents or the people, I would put any valuables away if you're not there. Because even though the agents are not there to steal and the people are not there to steal, there is the odd person that does, unfortunately. And let's just say somebody comes with the agent and they have 6 family members. During COVID, we try to only have 2 in the house at a time, but the odd time there's more. And so let's just say the agent can't be there and the grandkids are over there and the kids are over there and so forth. So say you have like your grandma's rings or some heirloom or whatever, I would just put it away just to be safe, because even though there's insurance to cover it, it doesn't get your grandma's ring back or anything. But you're more than welcome to be home during the showings. And I would just not follow the buyers around, you know, just say hello, you know, if you have any questions, let me know, and then just continue working whatever you're doing. So you can totally be home. Okay. Thank you for asking. Oh, I lied. There was one other thing before real estate. And then I'll look at who's on here, and then I will do the real estate updates. Okay, so there was just a study out of the University of Pittsburgh, and basically it's about, not about, but keeping elderly sane. So they were talking about like brain and so forth. So they said that the average 83-year-old, the more they studied 2000, the more they like play card games, or they talk to family members at least once a week. They do some kind of an online course or like an online singing, or what else did they say? They do puzzles or go to community activities or even church. Their gray matter starts to work more. I don't remember neurology, to be honest, from school, even though I studied it, even though you can't tell right now. And it basically promotes that. And then if, you know, your gray matter and stuff and brain cells are dying, then you're more likely to get dementia. So basically I'm just saying to take care of your elderly, people that you know, neighbors or family members, and try and interact with them, whether you can't see them and you can call them on the phone or something. Just try and do that so they stay sane and happy and healthy in this time, okay? I'm going to do real estate now, but I'm going to look at who's on first, and then I'll do real estate. Dogs and whales are amazing, Carol. Hi, Brittany. Hope you are well. Hi, Kara. Oh, thank you, Kara. Oh, yeah, that's the one that you have. I don't know, is yours from H&M? Oh, my goodness. I have a new selfie stick stand today, and it's not my friend. Hi, Judy. Hi, Sarah. Okay. So I'm going to get into real estate. Again, if you guys have any questions, thank you, Sarah, for asking about the lawyers. Okay. So for real estate wise, if anybody's up for an auction, they're having this thing called sale of land by public tenor. And basically, there's 6 houses in the city and people haven't paid their taxes for more than 3 years. So the city's saying, okay, these 6 houses, one of them's commercial and 5 are houses, owe us more than $2.2 million in back taxes. We've tried to get a hold of them for more than 3 years. There's no next of kin. They either have moved or deceased. So basically they're selling them off. So I have the 6 addresses if you guys want. And you have till November 28th to bid on them. Whoever bids the highest gets it, and then you have to pay the city within 14 days. Just an FYI. I just know a lot of you like watching like the home shows and stuff, and they often like auction and so forth, like Christina and Tarek or whatever. That was how they first started. So if you guys want to do that, they're not doing officially like out in public. Doing it just because of COVID and so forth. So basically people just pick the address and they say, okay, I'll offer you 100,000 or 300,000 or whatever like that, but you can't see what the other people's bids are. So it's not like when you go to a silent auction and you're like, I want to bid on this purse, and you can see what the other person did. You just have to bid. Okay. So if anybody wants to do that, let me know. And again, 1 is commercial and 5 are residential in the city. So in the last 5 years, every week I do different. Sometimes I do local. Next week I'll do all of September statistics. But in the last 5 years, houses have on average doubled. So obviously, depending where you live, in Ontario, so you bought a $300,000 house, now 600, or 450 is now 900, or 225, 450, and so forth. Obviously, you guys can do the math, which is amazing return. And then even the average one, there was nothing that went down in 5 years. Or not down, that had not gone up at least 25%. So even if you're like, oh, I bought a money pit, my house didn't double, there wasn't one house that was bought 5 years ago that was sold this year that did not at least go up 25%. So that is awesome for people in Ontario. For outside of Ontario, I don't know your stats. I do Canada sometimes stats, but I don't ever do outside of Canada. So I apologize. So that is good. And then, so when we look at just freeholds, they specifically went up 42% in the last 5 years. And we look at just condos, they went up 66%, their average sales price in the last 5 years, which is great. And normally freeholds go up more than condos, but as a whole, they have gone up more. Specifically more because not everybody can buy, freeholds. Let's just say 5 years ago, say you were approved for 700, 800,000 in Toronto, you were buying a detached house, and now you're probably buying a condo or a semi or a block cluster or something. So times are just changing, right? So that's why more people are buying condos now, and that's why it's gone up 66% in the past 5 years. There was 8 new families that just got keys for their homes this past week. That does not sound like a lot, but the reason I'm saying it is because it's from Habitat for Humanity. So basically they put in there like sweat equity. So they nail, they hammer, they saw, they whatever. 500 hours equates to their deposit for their home. And there's already been 36 families this year in that complex that have got keys to their home. And then there's going to be the next round, December, that get keys to their home. And then if you guys wanted to volunteer or whatever your trade, they also take that as well. So I just like stuff like that. Locally, our market slowed down a little bit. It's still crazy and a seller's market and hot. But since Thanksgiving, it has cooled down a little bit. Basically with Toronto and Peel and Ottawa going back to phase 2 and them saying, okay, that, try and do only virtual in Toronto and so forth, that's cooled their market a little bit, which in turn has it has stayed more, you know, basically raised at our end, because as that happens there, the more people want to move up here, either as a second property, as a cottage, or permanently. So ours has not cooled like Toronto's. Like Toronto's has cooled quite drastically, and ours is just like a little bit. Okay, so that's if you guys are wondering. There is, listing wise in Toronto, there's 215% more condos listed right now than there was last year. Hi Megan, how are you? I'm gonna jump, because I jump around a bit, but still in real estate. So in Barrie, in the last 7 days in condos, there was 8 new listings, 15 sold conditionally, 15 sold firm. So that's in addition, not just those 15 sold conditionally and sold firm. They're separate. 13 people got keys to their properties, which means they bought it previously, and 1 expired. In Barrie and Freehold in the last 7 days, there was 37 new listings. 2 deals fell apart, which means that somebody didn't get financing or they didn't get inspection. 28 homes conditionally sold, 59 sold firm, and that was that. So 59 sold firm and 54 got their keys. I can't even read my own writing. A person is calling me, and I'm sorry, I have to decline that. Nick, sorry Nick. And I'll do one more, and then I'll go back into other stuff of real estate. So ESSA, in the past 7 days, they've had 5 new listings, 4 conditionally sold, 14 sold firm, and 8 people got their keys. And just a reminder, next week on Wednesday, 1, I will be in my new abode, even though I appreciate this one. And 2, I'll give you guys September statistics as a whole, okay? Okay. I've talked about before in the past about interest rates. So they just announced again, the Bank of Canada, because people are worried with, you know, second wave and so forth. If, like they're saying, basically people in lower income, they're the ones that are going to be more likely to possibly lose jobs or have less hours. So they're just worried, you know, like, can we pay our mortgage and so forth? So they're going to keep the rates. Again, they've mentioned before, but they've just reiterated it, that's right, till 2023. So they said the only time they're going to raise it is when the economy can sustain a 2% increase. So they're guessing it'll be 2023, but if it's not till 2025, then they will wait until then, okay? But a 2% hike is what they will not move it until. Okay, so I had a question from Madison in Aurelia. So Madison in Aurelia said, I entered my mom for the $1,000 giveaway 3 or 4 months ago. I would like to nominate her again, or do you think I should just nominate someone new? Thank you, Madison, for asking. You're welcome to nominate her again, or you can nominate someone new, or you can nominate both. You're allowed to nominate 20 people if you want, okay? So you can send it all in on one video. You can send it on 20 separate videos. Doesn't matter to us, as long as they are over the age of 18 and they live in Simcoe County, okay? I had somebody the other day nominate somebody in Berks Falls, and unfortunately, we only do Simcoe County. Maybe in the future we'll do further, but right now we just do Simcoe County, okay? But thank you for asking. And again, the giveaway is this Sunday, and you do not have to have any relation to Cripps Realty. Just again, live in Simcoe County, but no relation to Cripps Realty. You just send your video to info@crippshomes.com, okay? So thank you, Madison. So lemonade stands. I know as a kid, I sold rocks. But let's just say somebody cuts grass or does snow or whatever. There was a little boy who was 11, and with his lemonade stand this year, he decided not to like buy a bike or a gaming station or whatever. I don't even know what's cool. I'm thinking like Sega, but that's obviously old, and PlayStation, I don't know what's cool now. But he didn't buy anything like that. He wanted to help single moms, and his mom is not even a single mom. So basically his grandma kind of lives in more project typed subsidized housing, and he sees a lot of single moms there, and he mentioned it to his mom that he wanted to help out. So since COVID has started, he has given over 22,000 packages of diapers to single moms and wipes. And last summer he did one for care packages for homeless, and so it had like deodorant in it and Kleenex and what else did it have in it? Soap, and it had like hand warmers and gloves and scarves and so forth. And he's only 11. So it's just super cute because I love things like that. So yay for the young people and anybody who's doing good things. But again, for the giveaway, you do not have to be doing something that extreme. Okay, you can just be a cool neighbor. So we have a question from Blaine in Cookstown. Hi, Dougie. How are you? Hi, William. Okay. So Blaine in Cookstown. I have a detached shop on my property that is larger than my home. Someone approached me yesterday to rent the space for 10 years. I could really use the money, but I'm afraid I will limit myself if I decide to sell within the 10 years. What should I do? Thank you, Blaine, for asking. If you have a contract with that person, then the new buyer can't get them out, even if they want to use the space themselves, because it's just a tenant thing, a tenant protection thing. And a lot of people think that that's not true. They're like, oh, if the new owner's moving in, they can automatically get them out, which is not true. So a 10-year lease is really long. I mean, if they're giving you good money, you would hope that somebody would see it as an asset buying it. But I mean, if it's bigger than your house, it obviously sounds like it's a great thing and they would probably want to use it themselves. So maybe see if you'll do, like, if you're not planning on moving at least for 2 years, maybe just do a 2-year with like an option to renew for 2 years or whatever, 2 sets of 2 years after, but have it at your discretion first in case you happen to decide that you have to sell or something, just so you're not tied in. You could also write in that if you decide to sell, that you'll give him, 3 months rent back, and 3 months notice or something like that, just to help protect you so you don't limit your buyers if you ever decide to sell. Okay, thank you for writing in, Blaine. Okay, so healthy habits since the pandemic. I hope you're well, Douglas. So they surveyed 3,000 people. They do surveys all the time, but this one was 3,000 people. And basically they said that people said they had picked up at least 5 new habits since the pandemic, which is awesome. I thought they were going to say like 1 in 5 people picked up 1 new habit, but they've picked up 5 new habits, which is good. 7 out of 10 people said that their habits make them happy and secure. And 65% said that they feel better daily with their new habits. 64% said they exercise more since March. 65% said that they're eating better, they're at home more, so they're doing more home-cooked meals. 8 out of 10 people say they want to stick to their habits after all of this is done. 29% say they appreciate the outdoors more. A quarter of people say that they're baking more and doing things from scratch. And 31% of people said they have decluttered their home since then, whether it's a garage or closet or what have you. And 18% have started meditating since March. So although obviously lots of craziness in the world since March, there's been lots of good things and people going back and realizing what's truly important to them and, getting in touch with themselves or getting closer to families and so forth. Hi, Maddie. Thank you. Oh, Maddie, thank you for the invite for the housewarming party. I haven't written back yet, but I will come. It is a nice background wall. Do you recognize it? Okay, so this next question is from Marjorie and Robert in Minising. So Marjorie and Robert wrote in, we are wanting to go to a condo for mobility issues and just being proactive with our ages. Do you think this is dangerous during COVID to be in the proximity of more people? We're both in our 90s. Thank you, Marjorie and Robert, for writing in. I get why you want to move and say elevator and so forth. I mean, every condo I've been in since COVID has like signs everywhere about masks in common areas. It usually says only 1 person per elevator at a time, or if you're in the same household, obviously, or same condo. If it really makes you that worried, they usually have sanitizer too at the front door, but if it makes you that worried, you could always get a main floor unit. We just sold one on Atherley in Aurelia on the main floor. We have another main floor one in Penetanguishene right now. It's across the street from the water. We have one coming up on Toronto Street on the main floor. So there's options if you still want to get into a condo, but you're afraid of like going up 15 flights in an elevator, possibly if somebody might come in or what have you. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad time, because then you take advantage of the strong market right now and sell your house for top dollar, and then move into condos, which not as many people buy condos as freeholds, just because, if they have families and so forth, it doesn't usually fit their family type. If they have 3 kids, they're not going to move obviously into a 2-bedroom condo. So you don't have as much competition on the buy side, but then on the selling side, you have lots of people, investors, families and so forth, people coming from the city buying. So I don't think it's a bad idea for you, but thank you for asking. Okay, a reminder to the $1,000 giveaway. I know I talk about it a lot, but I see people jump on and off. So if you have not nominated anybody and you would like to nominate them for the $1,000 giveaway this Sunday, please email your video to info@crippshomes.com and tell us who you would like to win and why. Okay, so there was a 5th grader, so I think you're like 10 maybe or 11, in grade 5, and basically, you know, since COVID, he talked about gratitude and seeing what's really important to him and so forth, and he just felt like with people not necessarily having as much money as other people and then maybe losing their job or so forth, that not everybody had food. So he basically set up an online thing where people could come and donate food. They have to bring it in a brown bag and they have to write something on it like, we love you, or you'll make it through it, or we support you, or we care about you, or you're fantastic, or we've got your back, or whatever. So that is what he has started. Again, he's in grade 5. And he wants to get 100,000 meals before Christmas, and he already has 4,000. So that's super cute of him. He also did a contest last year, a speech contest, so before COVID, and the topic of his was, how can kindness change a nation? And he actually won, so he got a $500 reward, or whatever you want to call it. And instead of just taking that $500 and being a kid and buying candy and whatever kids buy with $500, he bought a bunch of toys, not for himself, but for sick kids. And then he started a thing, 500, what was it called? 500 toys. Oh, race, I found it. Race to 500 toys. Obviously, he didn't buy 500 with his $500, but he called it Race to 500 Toys. And he, again, set up a platform. His parents helped him online. And he did raise 500 toys and, again, gave those to sick kids. So I just love all these little kids doing stuff. It's just, I like happy things. So that's what he's done. And I think I said already, he's got 4,000 of his 100,000 meals so far for this year. If you guys want to know where to send meals to, if you can do so, just message me privately or in here. Has the market slowed down at all now? Colder weather is here. Scotty, it slowed a little bit since Thanksgiving, but it's still busy. There was a townhouse the other day off Edgehill. It had 43 offers, which is actually the most I've heard of this year. It was our buyers in it. We had 3 buyers in it. It was not our listing. Normally it's been more around like 3 to 15. You get the odd one like 15 to 25, but it's more been in that range. If, for example, the comparables on the property are 500 and you list for $899, you're not getting multiple offers, obviously. Some people just think, oh, it's crazy market and we're just going to get all these offers at whatever price. It doesn't work that way. You still have to, you know, if it says 500, you can still list for like 5 or 529 and still get multiples, but you can't list at like 650 or 689 and get multiples, okay? So yeah, it's cooled a little bit, but it was insanity before. So now it's still above our normal market for sure for this time of year, but not as insane, but still multiples, and still like we're still getting deals come in and so forth. We just sold a condo yesterday. A townhouse got an offer on it today, and I know I got an agent page me and asked if I got her offer, and I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know what property she offered on, but stuff is still moving. And like I said, because Toronto and Peel and so forth are back to phase 2, people are more so wanting to get out of Toronto again. And again, whether it's just for a cottage or as a permanent residency, they're still moving up north or east or west or so forth. So things are still moving. And again, people are still, you know, able to afford more because I wish I could start every day. The internet doesn't like me, but I was basically done anyway. So have a great night. Remember to nominate somebody for the $1,000 giveaway. You can have no connection to Cripps Realty whatsoever, and so far every single person that has won has not had any connection to us, nor have the people that have nominated them. So feel free to nominate whoever, and this Sunday I will knock on somebody's door with a $1,000 check. Have a great night. Bye, guys.